In the soft arms of the Aravalli Hills lay Darola, a quiet village where time moved like a slow river. Mud homes stood in patient rows, their doors always open to passing wind and weary travelers. Among these homes lived Lakan, a humble shoemaker with hands weathered by devotion and eyes always searching the horizon for hope. Every morning before the sun rose, Lakan sat cross-legged in his tiny workshop, the scent of tanned leather mingling with incense from the nearby shrine. He crafted shoes the old way, no nails, just thread, time, and soul. His fingers knew every stitch by heart. But the villagers, though kind, rarely bought his shoes. Imported sandals, cheap and quick, were all the rage now. His wife, Mira, quietly sold milk from their lone cow to keep the children fed. Still, Lakan smiled through each day. A shoe made with love, he often said, will find the foot meant for it. One evening, after another day with no customers, Lakan sat outside his home, watching dusk settle like a prayer. A neighbor approached with concern. "Lakan ji," he said gently, "maybe it's time to do something else. No shame in change." Lakan nodded, but inside his heart trembled like a candle in wind. He looked at his calloused palms and wondered, what if my craft no longer belongs in this world? That night Mira sat beside him under the neem tree, her voice soft. The world may forget, but a true hand never does. Don't lose faith. Lakan lay awake long after, listening to the cow breathe, the children murmur in sleep, and the quiet heartbeat of hope. Days later, a wandering monk arrived in Darla. Clad in saffron robes, he traveled barefoot, his feet cracked but peaceful. Lakan, seeing the monk's worn soles, instinctively offered a pair of shoes, his finest pair. The monk smiled. You give without price. May life return the favor in ways you don't expect. He blessed Lakan's hands with a gentle touch and walked away, leaving behind a silence that felt like light. That night Lakan didn't dream of selling shoes. He simply dreamed of walking barefoot through dew-soaked fields, each step a prayer. The next morning Lakan sat in his workshop, a strange energy stirring within. He remembered how the monk's feet had shaped the leather. Not all feet are alike. Why should shoes be? He began crafting shoes that bent like the wind and breathed like the earth, shoes shaped by stories, not sizes. He carved leaves into the soles, wove in soft cotton lining, dyed the leather with turmeric and beetroot. He even added verses from village poems onto the insoles. His wife watched in awe. They look like they belong to dreams. Lakan smiled. Maybe they do. Words spread like the fragrance of ripe mangoes. A merchant from a nearby town heard of the poet's shoes and arrived with curiosity. He picked up a pair, marveled at the design, and asked, "Who buys these?" Lakan smiled. "No one yet." The merchant nodded slowly. "Then let me be the first." He ordered a dozen more for the town's festival market. Soon villagers too returned, drawn by the uniqueness and warmth in each pair. Children wanted shoes that whispered stories. Farmers wanted ones that felt like soil. And slowly, coin by coin, Lakan's shoes walked into the hearts of many. Months passed. The workshop, once silent, now echoed with song and life. Lakan still worked slowly, but now each stitch felt like a hymn of thanks. He hired young apprentices and taught them not just to make shoes, but to feel them. He never raised his prices too high. He said, "Let feet of all kinds feel the kindness of handmade care." One evening, under the same neem tree, Mira asked, "Do you miss the quiet?" Lakan looked at the twilight, his heart full. "No," he said, "because the quiet never left. It just found a voice in every step someone takes in my shoes." And so, the shoemaker's hope stitched with patience and dyed in faith, carried many through the paths of life.